Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started here. And so thank you everyone for attending our webinar. We're going to be talking today about how to maximize employee productivity and engagement while working from home. So I'm Mike Harvey. I'm the CEO of Project Overwatch. Been in IT business owner and an MSP, managed service provider, for over 12 years now, and been happily married for 13 years. Have 3 children at home, 6, 4, and 2, and that's a little bit about me. Today we're going to go over what tools are available, what tools we recommend, and what tools you should be at least looking at if you're not already using. How to use those tools to get the maximum employee engagement and productivity, especially in the current environment of work from home. And then I'm going to provide ample time for question and answer. So if you have a question, go ahead and pop it in the question box, and we'll answer that at the end of the webinar. So for the purpose of this discussion, we're going to talk about 4 buckets of tools, if you will. First being live communication. So that's how do you communicate with your team internally as well as externally with your clients, customers, vendors, and what have you. We're going to talk about what tools you could be using or should be using for collaboration, working on documents together, sharing files, and all of those things. Remote access setups and work from home setups, and what tools exist and what is available. And then finally, we're going to talk about how to use these tools to manage your day-to-day routine and how to work with your team and lead your team without micromanaging. So first off, I want to mention some of the physical products that you can use to work from home. Laptops, whether you're using desktop or whether you're permitting employees to use their personal machines at home, our recommendation is that you use a laptop with a docking station. Right now, there's a lot of people typically working inside of a small area, confined area in a home or an apartment. Multiple people trying to work as well as the kids. A laptop gives you the ability to detach and go in the other room to make a phone call should you need that. And having a docking station gives you the ability to also reconnect quickly to your other peripherals so that you're not trying to unplug and replug a whole bunch of wires all the time. The next one is multiple monitors. So we recommend at least 2. Here at Project Overwatch, a lot of our team uses 4 even. I personally use 3. I just prefer the 3 monitor setup better than 4, but I don't really do any technical work either. So the technical people will do 4 monitors most of the time. But it allows you to be more productive and more efficient in your workflow. Voice over IP headset or soft phone. It can be very fatiguing, speaking from experience, having to cradle your phone in your shoulder or having to hold it up to your ear constantly. So a proper good headset will make that easier and make it, at the end of the day, if you have a good headset, you oftentimes forget that you're even wearing it. Wireless mouse and keyboard. A lot of people are working in an area right now that wasn't designed to be used for what it's being used for, whether that's the kitchen counter, dining room table, small table in a bedroom, even maybe a dresser potentially. Wireless mouse and keyboard just makes it more convenient in that type of a scenario and reduces the clutter from all the cables everywhere. And then a dedicated workspace, if at all possible, it makes it a lot easier and a lot nicer to have a dedicated area to go work. And then finally, an ergonomic chair, good, comfortable chair, just makes the day go by. And a lot of people have bad backs. We even provide chairs to our team that are working remotely. So it's another consideration. With regards to live communication, one of the first things you think about is voice over IP, or VoIP for short. We strongly recommend a cloud-based system versus a in-office system. It provides redundancy. You're not reliant on the power and the internet in an office. If that goes out and your phone system's in your office, will the entire communication for your whole company go down? Not to mention the fact trying to run that across a VPN is very taxing on a network, and oftentimes leads to very poor communication. Also, your in-office voice over IP system is very limited ability to work from anywhere. With a good cloud-based VoIP system, you're going to have a lot more features. You have a iOS or Android app, soft phones for your computer, and the ability to take your business phone really with you everywhere you go. It give you the ultimate flexibility, work from home with any device. When we're talking about chat communications, internally here, we use actually all three of these: Slack, Zoom, and Teams. The technical team will use Teams more frequently, and ultimately, we're going to probably be moving our entire company over to that platform. But our marketing and creative teams use Slack and Zoom a lot, and these just allow for more face-to-face interaction. Applications like Microsoft Teams, Slack, and Zoom allow for easy chat and virtual collaboration as a team. It's much better than relying on email alone. The reason why we're moving to Teams is it provides a complete and integrated workspace platform that integrates video conferencing, chat, even live telephone. So your voice over IP system can be integrated with Teams as well. Provides collaboration tools, file sharing, and web all in one platform. A couple best practices when working from home. Number one, limit the devices on your home internet, especially while you're on a video chat or video conference. If you can, have the kids get off of YouTube or Disney Plus, your streaming, or Minecraft, Fortnite, whatever the games are. I personally will even remove my cell phone from Wi-Fi when I'm at home to just provide a better video chat situation. Also, invest in a good high quality HD web camera. The ones we use, the ones we recommend, they're full HD. You can pick them up for 60, 70 bucks, but they're really great quality. Right now, there's a lot of scams going on Amazon. I saw one the other day, same webcam that we use for 60, 70 bucks on sale for 300 and change. You see something like that, don't buy it. If you need a recommendation, or you need to be pointed in the right direction of where to get a webcam, get in touch with us and we'll point you in the right direction. Also, reach out to your ISP. A lot of our clients in their home situation, we've noticed that they are on a plan that they signed up for 2, 3, 4, even 5 years ago. And a lot of the plans that are out now, 2.5 times the speed you had before at the same price, or even less sometimes. So talk to your ISP, find out what they have available, and see if you can upgrade. So in regards to collaboration, collaboration is working together to achieve common business goals. Usually by sharing data, documents, work in a system, and communicating at appropriate times. So a good collaboration system, we recommend SharePoint. There's also Google G Suite. SharePoint just provides a lot better business features, and it's more business friendly. In a SharePoint, you use the same tools that you're familiar with, Excel, Word, PowerPoint, even the desktop versions, doesn't even have to be the web versions, and allows up to 100 people to be working on the same document at one time. And then if you couple that with Teams, then you can do the video chat. You can look at each other face to face, especially if you have multiple monitors, while you're working on the document together. Um, cloud apps, again, G Suite or SharePoint, they're going to be easier to use, easier to set up, and they're going to be more feature rich than, say, compared to accessing map drives in the office over a VPN, which is going to be slow and prone to issues. And also, one of the problems you have if you're trying to use VPN for this is a lot of times people, if you have two people open the same document at the same time, one person saves it, then the next person saves it, saves right over the top of the changes the other person made. If you have a collaboration app, it will eliminate that problem and allow you to both work on it simultaneously without overriding the other. Also, standardize the tools you're using. So if you're using G Suite, everybody in the office should be using G Suite. If you're using SharePoint, Microsoft 365, everybody in the office should be using 365. Not all tools are created equal. So if you set up a company on Box or Dropbox, there's no good corporate control over that data or ability to lock anything down, lock down who has the ability to share. So what's preventing your employees from copying your data and leaving to a competitor with your book of business or intellectual property? If you use the right tools, they will solve these problems. Some of the questions you should be asking yourself, or even your IT company or your managed services company or your internal IT team, whoever that may be, who has access to my data? Where is my data located? How do I share or remove access? For example, if you're using SharePoint, employee leaves with corporate data, that's the company's data, belongs to the company. The company should have control over that. In SharePoint, you actually have the ability to bring it back, even if someone took it and had it on their own personal computer. You can remove it, and they no longer have access to those documents. Also, with Microsoft 365 Exchange email, contacts, calendar, again, this goes back to redundancy. And what we talk about often is business continuity, or the ability for your business to continue to function anytime from any device, anywhere, regardless of the scenario. So like the scenario we're in now, continue functioning the same before, during, and after the event or the crisis. So let's discuss a few of the remote access work from home setups and solutions. Some of you may be familiar with RDS, Remote Desktop Services, and RD Web, and both of these are very similar technologies. These technologies essentially allow everyone to log into a server. Same server has applications, has the company data, and work as if it's their own personal desktop. RD Web is very similar to RDS, Remote Desktop Services. The only real difference is it kind of puts a window around that application and it's presenting it to the end user. So it appears as if it's running on their desktop, but really it's not, it's running from the server. And then we have Windows Virtual Desktop, which this is really the next generation service, and really where you guys should be looking at going with your company, especially in a remote and a virtual environment. It provides a full Windows 10 desktop, fully functional, accessible from anywhere on any device. The added benefit you get from going with Windows Virtual Desktop also is it leverages the power of Microsoft Azure Cloud. So that's Microsoft's secure data center. Microsoft has the ability, unlike the vast majority of companies in the world, aside from, say, Google or an Amazon or something similar, to build a data center that's highly scalable, affordable, and secure all at the same time. That said, all of these first three solutions I've mentioned require some planning and some preparation. It's not something that you can turn on quickly. Um, it's something that you need to be looking at, because these are the real, what we would call business continuity solutions. Again, solutions that will allow your business to function the same regardless of where you're working from, and regardless of what happens in the economy, in your business, or inside of your building. Um, the other two solutions are something that can be set up rather quickly in most cases. SSL VPN for those apps and data that are hosted at the office. This provides a secure and easy way to do it. Project Overwatch, we discourage the use of VPNs, except for in very specific situations. We'd highly discourage that as a remote access solution. But again, it's dependent on the situation. And then web-based remote access tools. This is something like Log Me In, or Go to My PC, or TeamViewer, or a number of different other flavors of the same thing. Is essentially just a TV screen sending back and forth just images, essentially, with mouse clicks and keyboards being the only thing that goes back and forth. No actual data is transferred. So what tools do you use for project management and delegation? Excuse me. To effectively manage a remote and virtual team, you need some tools to delegate tasks, manage projects and deadlines, and hold people accountable. Tools that we recommend are Microsoft Project, Asana, Monday.com, Trello. There's a number of various different other ones. Particularly with Microsoft Project, it's very powerful, but also very complex and a big learning curve. The other two, Asana and Monday, they're easy to use, intuitive, cloud-based. They're very user-friendly and lots of integrations. Monday.com is very similar, just different flavors, essentially. So whatever works for your team, whatever works for your workflow is what you should be looking at, what you should be using, and it's kind of situational. So if you need a recommendation on that, feel free to reach out. Be glad to answer those questions. So how do you effectively use these tools to lead your team during this time and anytime when you're working with a remote and virtual team without micromanaging them? Well, number one, set clear expectations on work, deadlines, and goals with your virtual staff. Engage regularly with daily and weekly huddles. We have a little bit of an advantage. We have a national team that we have had for a very long time, so we're used to working in this type of environment. But as the company leader, for a long time, I have discouraged the use of any non-video communications. We want to get face-to-face as much as possible, especially with our team that's not in the office. And we can use that technology to build community. We schedule video-based one-on-one meetings with direct reports, and we do a lot of video coaching. So we'll communicate as much as possible over video. Also, we use a tool called Hallway, and you can access it at hallway.chat. This tool essentially allows us to have what we call our virtual water breaks. So where whoever's available at that time can take a break from their regular work, jump on the video call, and interact with their coworkers and peers in a virtual setting. The only real rule that we have for that is no work talk is allowed. So we don't talk about work. This is just our time to socialize and, again, build community with our team. So now I'm going to open this up to question and answer. And if anybody has any questions, just pop them in your question box and I'll go ahead and answer them. And I'll give you guys a few minutes to do that. Okay, so if there's no questions at this time, then I'm going to go to the last slide here. And by the way, if you don't want to ask questions on this call, that's perfectly fine. You can contact me at the contact information at the bottom of the screen below my picture, and I'll be happy to answer your questions there as well, or any member of our team will as well if you reach out over phone. So finally, our next webinar, it's going to be on maintaining effective communications when your employees work from home. So this is going to be more of a deep dive into the communications piece of this. So that's going to be on Wednesday, April the 15th at 1 p.m. Central. And for a copy of this presentation, you can go to this link and you'll be able to download the slides. I'll leave this up for a few more minutes and just double check on the questions here. So one more time before we leave. Okay, so if that's it, then we're going to close out this call and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you very much.